Right. There we go. I was going to say, there's a quiz, guys. You guys got to, like, figure it out. Start studying now. So, damn it. And she was like, I just got out of school. Sorry. My daughter also just graduated, so that's on my brain, too, because I just went to her graduation. But anyway, so with this, we are looking for those cold spots. So thank you, by the way, for not making me pull teeth with you guys. So that was very quick. Like, you both, like, like, all of a sudden, you both got it. So you guys should be able to see me, red, orange, and yellow guy. So I normally make the joke that I am the hottest thing inside the frame right now, but the guys outnumber the gals right now in this group, so that doesn't always going to work out. So again, most of the time, I'll be honest, I usually have a bunch of females in front of me, like 90% female in front of me. So again, the bridal parties, it usually slays, just so you know. But cold spots, and I'm making these jokes on purpose so you guys remember we're looking for cold spots, so that's why I'm making these cracks. But the cold spots are going to be blue and black. That's what we're looking for. I want them to either move or to take shape. That's what we're looking for. When I say take shape, I want a head, shoulders, moving arms and legs. That's what we get out of this guy. That's what we've caught. I also love to give you stats out of my equipment because this is not a TV show. I see probably 4 or 5 pieces of paranormal evidence out of this that I will put my stamp of approval on per year, not per episode. Okay, so again, I do this 5 to 7 nights a week depending on the weather. So I'm out here quite a bit. And you're like, wow, that's a lot. Yeah, you're damn right it is, because that's all I do. But I also, like I said, the stats are a big deal to me. I'll probably do it with almost every device that I hand you, just so you kind of have that expectation. So with this one, you got to turn the camera right on your left first, otherwise, because it'll start flipping all over the place. So when you're using this, you're going to hold it this way. Hold it this way first, and then you hit that record button. Looks like
Gotcha.
And then you hit the record button, because if you start any other way, it turns upside down, and YouTube doesn't like the flippies. Any video camera we use tonight will all go to YouTube. We're actually going to swap cameras 2 stops from now, just based off what goes on in that location. And you guys will see that once we get around there. Shayla, have you heard anything?
Does 10-year mean anything? Because I heard that.
10-year?
Yeah, does that mean anything?
Not off the top of my head, but I'm going to write it down because there's a number in there, which is something that can be proven. Like, names and numbers usually don't lie. So if you hear names or numbers, like, I write every one of them down and dive in. Like, again, what's fun for me is I know what 90% of these puzzles look like. It's the 10% of weird stuff like the 10-year that the 10 might actually mean something. So it has a small relevance, but I need something else to go along with it to verify it. So you kind of see where I'm going with that. Like, I'm like, it's okay. We'll see what happens. See who else, because I might verify who's here. So we'll kind of see what happens. That antenna is not going to help any reception. It's actually for a motion sensor, and we are outdoors, and it's windy. It's going to blow dust around. So that's why we don't use the motion sensors outdoors. So we're going to stay away from, what are we down to, 2 cars after this one leaves? Perfect. So we're just going to, we're going to get you unmuted, and we're going to spread out. I'll do probably 2 or 3 round robins with everybody to kind of see what's going on, take a bunch of notes, regroup us over here, give you all of the answers, and kind of see what we got. All right, so let's spread out. Let's do this. Let's get you unmuted for sure. Let's get to work. What you guys came for? Yeah, you got to find something good out front. Yeah, just tap it once, and then it should like take, I don't know, 30 seconds to 45 seconds to warm up, and you'll start to hear a little bit of, there you go. There it is. It just takes a minute to warm up.
It's in the corner over there. Yeah. And I am looking for just a cold spot.
Yes, black.
You want to ask any questions?
Well, like radio. So what happened to the mansion?
Thought I heard something.
Any? What happened to the mansion? Why is there no mansion here? Where were the slave quarters? the mansion? I think I heard something burned it.
I was thinking fire.
I heard something. I think it burned it, but it sounded like a man's voice. Where were the slave quarters?
Are there any slaves around here now?
No yes or no's.
It's a question.
But it's gonna be a yes or no. How many slaves
How
were
many
there?
slaves were there here?
What's the name of a slave who was here?
Heard anything coming out of it?
I think I heard what happened to the mansion, and I heard it burned.
You're exactly right. It actually caught fire.
Yeah.
But what's the relationship here? I usually ask people so I don't assume anything. Okay. I never assume, so. It burned. So hopefully the date is going to show up as well. At least parts of it. The number 10 is not part of it. Like Shayla heard 10 years. That's not part of it. So I would look at that, even though it was 10 years, those spirit boxes are slowed down. So if you ask what color is a big red barn and you get Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, I don't need the Rudolph the nosed reindeer. We just need the red out of it for the direct answer.
Gotcha.
So I kind of look for those key focus words kind of thing. Sorry, English guy. It's just kind of what I do. That's why the communication is so important to me, because it's like I can piece it together very quickly. And again, with the camera, I don't always follow up with that one in real time because it is small. And again, I wait for the YouTube video that I'm going to upload and I watch it on a computer. You guys are going to be able to watch it on your TV.
Gotcha.
Even the other camera is even smaller than that because it's an altered GoPro. So it's super small, but it has spatial capabilities, which is why we're going to be using it at that spot. So again, even with that camera.
So, but when looking for the dark spots, is it a dark spot actually moving?
Moving.
Or okay.
Or that is taking shape. Let's kind of move away from these two expensive cars and kind of give you an example. So let's say there's a can on the ground over here, right? First. So this can, go ahead and like put the camera like where the can is going to be in view. Perfect. You can already see it.
Right.
You see the black spot?
Yes.
So if that was growing and starting to take shape, where I saw head, shoulders, moving arms and legs kind of thing, like I would say keep your vision on the can and watch it grow and see what's actually going to come out of it.
Gotcha.
Or we've actually just seen, and this unfortunately is a downgrade of the thermal because somebody broke the upgrade. Like they dropped it and it bent the part, so I'm waiting on the insurance to send me the check for the new one. Luckily this was in the retired box, so I was still able to use it. But the new one, the upgrade actually has a blue dot bouncing around the screen, and it shows you where the coldest spot is. So I can look for 15+ degree temperature differences versus ambient temperature, because I keep track of that too. It's 78 degrees out here for us tonight. I would be looking for 63 degrees and colder. So again, it gets a little bit more scientific and the picture's a little bit more clear. Like you don't have to like almost decipher it with your eyes of what the hell's going on. It's usually pretty crisp. So the definitive lines of temperature differences are a little bit more defined. So FLIR actually did a really nice job with it. So yeah, is it worth triple the price of that little guy? Absolutely. So I mean, going from a $200 like, which is what's on there now, to I think the upgrade's like close to $600. Like for everything it provides and all the data, hell yeah, it's definitely worth it. But does it get dropped? Yeah, it gets dropped. People see shit and they drop it. It happens.
Oh wow, really?
Oh yeah.
He's a little arm wrist.
I tried like I tried a gimbal on there, like the arm. It just doesn't like work right. It's got too much weight because I need the battery pack on there to keep the camera charged, the whole night. Because I don't like that. They drain my battery kind of bit. Again, that doesn't happen with me because I change the batteries and recharge everything every single day. So again, it doesn't happen on my boards. If it does, it's legit. Like I know it's legit. All right, let me follow up with Shayla and kind of see what we got going on. But yeah, definitely you're on the right track. So you got it burned. I'm all about it.
The 10 might be the answer to the question that I asked about the number of slaves.
What do you mean?
When we were talking about the number 10 that Shayla had, because we asked something that was a numerical.
Maybe.
Yeah, but then she probably just said, "Nah, you wrong."
I would love to have a slave's name. What was a slave's name?
What did they say you do already?
Huh?
You do already. I would love to have a slave's name. You were just saying I would love to have a slave's name. You do. Kunta was
You know what
was
you're a motherfucker.
changed it to Toby.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying.
I know what you said. I'm just
what was the
saying
name
literal.
of a slave who lived here?
Who burnt the mansion? Was it a revolt? I know that's a yes or no, but
How many rooms were in the mansion?
so this would actually be the like center right here, and like usually in the center is the heart of everything. Oh, just heard it. Like actually sound like a
The radio
commentator.
station, yeah. Were there any live animals that you enjoyed here? What is this kind of light?
Yeah.
How many slaves lived here? How many slaves lived here?
Oh, this man just scared me running across the street like that into there.
Yeah, he's tall too.
Yeah.
What was your favorite thing about the mansion? What color was your room in the mansion?
So I'm just looking at the corner, but I don't see it moving or anything. It's clearly the dark spot. Yeah.
But it looks like a sign laying over there. There's a board.
Okay. I see it now.
How many windows were in your room?
Sound like Vogue.
What is the name of one slave who lived here? Oh, that corner. How many floors were in the mansion?
What would you do if you saw me standing in this spot right now?
All right, gents, we got anything else? No. Okay. I think it's time we need to wrap this one up. So go ahead and hit stop on your camera. We're gonna pull everybody together.
And mute here?
Yeah, we're gonna pass through us. By the way, we'll just kind of split the seas, let them go by. They'll all point and go, "Shh, they got equipment," and then I just continue on. I know, right? It's exactly what my folks usually do too. They're like, "Look what we got," but we'll let them pass by, and then normally I try to, with the cameras, I usually say try to get a view going one way or the other down the alleyway. If other people pass by or come into the alley, they'll come out of that ivy wall because there's a set of stairs right there, or they'll come in the way that we did. Of course, tourists can go all the way through from start to finish, but tourists can't. I'll explain because I've actually been kicked out of here. That's the fun part of the story. And Toby's like, "Great, who did we sign up with? A felon, criminal over here." But anyway, this is Philadelphia Alley, like I said, but it used to be called Duelers Alley. This is where some of the duels used to occur for the city of Charleston. So I say some of the duels because it was illegal in the 1700s. They had to find hiding spots to perform the act. This just happened to be one of those hiding spots. So did that sort of look like they're coming through? No, they're just going to pick. So here's how this story goes. A doctor moves down here from Rhode Island. His name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. In the event that Shayla hears the song Brown Eyed Girl while we're here, it's not coincidence. It's part of his name and we get it all the time. But anyway, he moves here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a lot of money from her dead parents, and she has an attorney helping her out with all of the cash. The attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after Amanda's money, so he tells Amanda to get rid of the doctor. So he comes down here to Charleston to prove that he's not. He's going to start his medical practice here and make his own money. And that's exactly what he did. So he came down here, and the coachman that brought him in to town so he can set up, he set him up to be robbed and killed. So it wasn't a very good start for Dr. Ladd to start his career here. And by the way, that's like having a really bad Uber driver in today's world, if you really think about you get the point. But somebody was walking by and seeing what was about to happen because he knew the coachman. That person walking by was named Ralph Isaacs. I say his name slowly because he has the same initials as where the doctor came from. R.I. for Rhode Island and Ralph Isaacs. I was getting the letters R.I. on a regular spirit box like once a month or so, and I was trying to figure out is it relevant to which person because it's two different characters. I bought a new device. It's called an Envoy, and it's basically a digital Ouija board. Works just like John's device, where it uses EMF to give us letters instead of the actual reading of the EMF. We've had the letters RI about 7 times in the past year whenever we've used it, and I've brought up Ralph's name only. It's not relevant to the Rhode Island piece, but I just like to point it out because that's how I do my research. Moving on. Ralph tells the doctor, "Dude, I know this guy, the coachman. He's going to try to kill you. Come with me. I got some friends at 59 Church Street. You can rent a room from them, and you'll be safe and good to go." The doc took him up on the offer, and the two gentlemen became friends. Now, the longer the doctor stays here, the more money he's making. He's proving his point. He's not after Amanda's money. He's making his own. She gets wind of this from Rhode Island, and she says, I'll move down so we can be married down here. So Dr. Ladd then became known as the Whistling Doctor. Here's why I hate the story. It's a giant cliche. Every haunted city you will ever visit is going to have a cliched whistling ghost. We all have one. Ours just happens to be a doctor. Now, we're in Dueler's Alley, so why did I bring you here for this whole story? There's more. Dr. Ladd and Ralph go see plays together. They can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. That's the hierarchy of Charleston. He gets better seats. On the way home from seeing Richard III, they're arguing over the new actress they just saw. Dr. Ladd thought she was great, and Ralph didn't. They start arguing, but then Ralph is insulting the doctor's fiancée, Amanda, back home in Rhode Island, and it got really ugly. They went their separate ways. Now, I've already told you Ralph has friends around town. He goes to the newspaper and places an ad in the paper telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. Kind of a, you're a disgrace to society kind of thing. Doc saw this ad, but rebutted with, let's go to Dueler's Alley. We're going to settle this. They actually went back and forth a little bit more than that in the newspaper. I usually cut that part out, but you looked kind of confused, like, really? Two gents were fighting over that? Yeah, they did. So they came down here, and keep in mind that this argument started over an actress. Pretty dumb shit. Now, back to back, they came down, 10 paces they took. They turned, Doc points his gun in the air, shoots his one shot from his flintlock. He didn't want to kill his friend. He just needed the courage to show up to the fight, which is often what happened at a duel, especially when it's amongst friends. Ralph has his one bullet, and he puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. Doc didn't die. He fell to the ground. His friends picked him up and took him home to 59 Church Street, where he died 10 days later, November 2nd, of 1786. Now, that was also after he refused medical treatment for that 10 days. Here's why. It's 1786. Gunshot wounds back then, a lot different than what we know of them now. Secondly, he is a doctor. He probably just thought he had lead poisoning and tried to bleed it out himself, but he failed because he died. And every tour that comes down here will tell you to listen for the whistles, and they've been doing that for the past 40 to 50 years. The reason why this guy, I believe, follows me around is because I can talk back. So again, we're going to be near a couple of other locations that are, near places of raised emotion for him. We're going to be near his house later on. So he's going to follow us over there. Sometimes he does that. So if you're going to try this on your own and listen for the whistles while you're down here without me walking all the way through, with the voice recorders from your phone, because you're always going to have a voice recorder on you, just remember that every local knows this story, guys. Anybody walking up and down Queen Street or Cumberland, we all throw a whistle down this alley whenever we walk by it. That's just what we do here. So just kind of get that. And I do have a couple that I can't debunk. Now, we do have a camera running plus my voice recorder. If we're going to get any type of disembodied whistle, it's going to probably show up on one of our devices. However, on Shayla's device, I can't tell you how many times I have stumbled across the whistling part of a song and then the word doctor from a commercial immediately after while we've been in this location. Dozens upon dozens of times, because I've been coming here for almost 5 years. So I was going to take it out just because, again, if you've been in Charleston before on a ghost tour, you've already heard this story. But let's kind of go through how I got kicked out of here and the fun part of it. Good, they're still hanging out down there.
No, they're coming.
Are they coming all now? So, as he kind of makes his way over here, the alley didn't always go all the way through the way we came in. There used to be a wall up there. The reason why is this used to be called Cow Alley before it was Dueler's Alley. So this is where they kept all the livestock in the city of Charleston. How you doing, man?
Good. How are y'all?
Good, good. It's not as warm down here tonight. I know, right?
For a June, especially.
Over the weekend, like, it was sweltering down here. Like,
She
crazy.
recommended this store.
Hello.
Preserve that stuff. That was
So, that is a lot of people, exactly.
What happened?
A lot of people always look back, like, what are they doing back there? Exactly. So, that is a normal size tour. Oh, yeah. By the way, did I tell you your baseline was an 8 in here
Yeah,
because of the
you did.
lamppost? Okay, good. So, where was I? Oh, in the Cow Alley. So the reason why I'm telling you about this whole livestock thing down here is because the bricks down on the other side, down by Queen Street, are older than the ones we're standing on. Those bricks down there are sun-dried bricks from slave children. There's a full handprint down there from a slave child and fingerprint swipes and others. I used to take my group all the way down just to show them the handprint for a history lesson, nothing paranormal. Again, you already know how I feel about cemeteries. That's the last place you're going to find that kid is near that brick that he had to create for his master, correct? So, November 26th of 2020, I took my entire group down there for their history lesson. All 10 people were huddled around that damn brick waiting for something to happen. I know nothing's going to happen. I'm trying to shoo them along. Come on, guys. We're also standing outside the dining room window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. I was trying to be respectful, not realizing we were out of bounds for tours. I was still new with this. So, the new owner of that mansion came out screaming. My daughter was on the tour that night and thought it was hysterical that her father was getting yelled at. She's about 14 at the time. Yes, it was funny. So we moved on. The next day was Thanksgiving. I don't tour on Thanksgiving because I worked in upper management for Walmart before I started doing this. You guys like to fight over towels on Thanksgiving and have scarred me for life. I will never work another Thanksgiving for as long as I live. The next day was the 28th. I called my partner that I had at the time and I told him what happened so I can figure out what to do next. He's laughing at me just like my daughter did. He's like, dude, you're only allowed to go down halfway. That's it. About where they were standing, by the way.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's considered residential. You're going to have to reroute your group. That was a problem because I didn't have any, investigation parts up here. So I told my group, I don't believe in the next story, and we don't do this story this week because it's on probation because of the location, but I was like, I'm into vampires, not pirates. Like, that's not my thing. But before we left, somebody with a spirit box heard the name Anne, and I didn't tell them which pirate we were going to be investigating, the female pirate, Anne Bonny. I took them around the corner thinking, okay, maybe we'll get something. Somebody else with a spirit box heard the number 300. I didn't know what it meant. I wrote everything down, I did the research for them. We were there November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy was November 28th of 1720. We were there on the exact 300th anniversary of her pirate trial. So, I usually get that kind of reaction. I was actually quite pissed off. Let me explain. Master's degree in creative writing. That's a problem for me because pirate stories come from pirate lore, which was written 100 years after the golden age of piracy. I need facts and data when I'm doing investigational pieces, and I always look for facts and data when I'm researching anything that's, nonfiction. So again, that was a big deal for me. I've done more research on pirates, and I'm actually quite upset because the location where we would go, instead of where we are going tonight, it was kind of like the Pinckney Mansion setup. It was a nice big open space where we can all spread out, and I would tell this great big Anne Bonny story that was fantastical, and we would find some really cool stuff along with Dr. Ladd stuff. However, the cemetery that we're going to be going to up and around the corner, which we're probably going to have to wait our turn because it's normally every other ghost tour's big finale because there's something to show there. We're going to swap cameras with Mikkel we'll probably do it once we get up around the corner and do that space. And it's an apparition story, so the camera he'll be using can see things that we can't. Obviously, we can't see temperature, but this is a lot different because it's an actual apparition. So we're still on the anniversary week of that whole happening, so we're going to see what's going on up there once we get up and around the corner. So we'll go around the horn real quick just to see what you guys caught. Shayla, were you listening at all, or were you focused on me?
I got something. I just heard the past 10 years, so I didn't type that down yet. I got answer is fact, daughter come to me, March, doctor the medicator.
Not surprised. We get the word doctor down here all the time. Doctor the medicator. And then daughter come to me?
Yeah.
In the last 10 years, you said?
Yeah, I just got that.
What's weird is she had 10 years at the other location too. I'm just wondering if there's a new hyped up commercial that's being played more often than normal. So again, I look for things like that too. Last 3 or 4 terms?
Dominate, sell, product, empire, and then skin.
Skin. Out of all that, okay, let me just throw skin out there. Anything above an 8?
Is there a skin product empire that somebody dominates?
I don't know. Not to my knowledge around here, but
Nothing
again.
close to an 8. 2.8 was the highest I got.
Yep.
Nothing.
So it's probably coming from the lamppost.
There's
Obviously,
gotta be
you
a
were on
garbage
mute, Toby.
somewhere.
So did you see anything when you were getting glances? I know you were kind of going back and forth between me and the camera. So when we exit the space, obviously you can unmute. Again, I wish I could take you guys all the way through because this is one of the most beautiful spots in all of Charleston. And if you are like a photo taker, this is the place to be day or night. It is gorgeous no matter what time of day you're here. So I love this location. It's another reason why I didn't want to take it out, just because I love the place so much. A lot of people are like, Rainbow Row, or the Bay, or this. And I'm like, nope, it's Philadelphia Alley all the time. And you can always tell when a new season's changing because between the anise tree in the fall, so around September, October, anybody familiar with the smell of black licorice?
Yes.
So that's exactly what the whole alley smells like. And then when spring starts, we have honeysuckle on the right. So the whole alley will smell like honeysuckle. So it's absolutely gorgeous down here. You just get that, especially the anise, because I'm from Ohio, where we actually ate Patel cookies every holiday season. So I don't know if any of you are from the north, but that's the thing, and they're made with anise. So it's a weird thing. Like my wife hates them. She's from Pittsburgh. I'm from Ohio. But she's like, you damn Ohioans have the weirdest damn cookies over there. But again, cookies are a thing between those two states. They were always battling.
This is not my cup of tea.
I don't mind black licorice, but anise cookies at Christmas time, like it's like anise and vanilla mixed together instead of the anise as the primary flavor from black licorice. So it's a nice balance between the two of them, and it's made like in a waffle iron. So it's a very thin
thin.
cookie, yeah. And they're in the shape of snowfleks, like they actually.
Wafer.
Only for iron, probably.
Yeah. So, and they actually look like snowflakes. Like that's how they're shaped. You pour the batter in there and it makes a snowflake shape. Like they sell those things all over the place up there because of those damn cookies. So it's a weird thing. But anyway, not to give you guys my whole heritage back up in Ohio, because again, it's not necessarily anything proud of up there in Ohio, because I come from the shittiest city and one of the shittiest states, from Youngstown. So I'm sorry, you guys from Ohio? Anybody?
No.
Okay, I was gonna say, did I just offend somebody?
I was actually going to ask what is the significance of Philadelphia with everything that a lot that we've been hearing today has all been Philadelphia.
You want to know why this is called Philadelphia?
Yeah, or
Dueling was illegal, and they had to rename the alley to get it out of the brains of all of the locals. So they named it after one of the cities that helped us financially out of one of our many, many fires. So they named it after Philadelphia. So that's why it's called Philadelphia Alley now. Most people will know this as Jewelers Alley if they're a local. Not many people go back even further than that, which is where my cow alley thing came into play. Because again, I like to do like, how did this place evolve? Like, what was it beforehand? Even the gate behind me, not a whole lot of people know why this whole archway is even here. So put the two and two together of, there used to be a wall up there before it was a Dueler's Alley, but if there was a loser to a duel over here, they have to carry the dead body all the way down to Queen Street and double back to get to the cemetery, or they can use this. The wrought iron that you see is probably put there in the early 1900s, but the archway is definitely part of the original wall. You can see that. And even if you're exploring through here, if you move like some of the foliage like out of your way, you can actually see some of the gunshots in the wall. Like they're in at a right angle where somebody would just shoot off to the side.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. You just got to dig for them. They're there though. I have found quite a few. All right, let's go see if we can find this damn apparition. Get you listening for sure, unmuted. As far as filming, you can film if you want to as we exit. It's up to you, but we're gonna swap cameras when we get around the corner.
all right.
Go out to SOS.
It's all about that SOS, huh?
I did want to walk down there.
It is.
Any other day?
I'm going to start recording.